Richard Johnson. He's a lecturer in US politics at Queen Mary University of London. Richard, great to have you with us. First and foremost, people keep talking about this election like it's the most consequential in a generation in terms of the next presidential election and the hot button issues. Why?
Well, we do hear that at every election, but I think there are certain things that are quite important at this election that we haven't seen before. And that's really about the elections that are going on at the state level. 46 states have state legislative elections going on, and many states have gubernatorial elections going on. And these are going to decide the individuals who then manage the election administration at the next presidential election. There's also risk that the Supreme Court this year, in a case called Moore, could actually remove the role of state Supreme Courts from oversight in the allocation of electoral college votes, leaving it just to state legislatures. So it's not just what happens at this election, but it's what happens at this election then affects what happens at the presidential election in 2 years' time.
And we've seen movements there, haven't we, with Donald Trump very much on the campaign trail. I think looking at the polling, he's actually slightly ahead of Biden. So we're then looking to see whether or not Biden's going to run.
I think all signs for me at the moment suggest that Joe Biden will run for re-election. I think that he's probably the figure who can best unite the Democratic Party in all of its disparate guises, different wings of the party, and so on. But Donald Trump is going to be a significant challenge for Biden. Trump runs best when he doesn't have a record to defend, and he's playing the role of the critic. And so he, in 2020, of course, had to defend his record. This time, he's removed from that a bit, and I think that gives him a little bit more of an edge than he had 4 years ago.
And Richard, incumbents tend to lose big in midterms in their first term. I think about Obama and Trump. So do you think it's potentially looking too much into it? Obviously, at the moment, we're looking at the races in terms of President Trump's possible influence, like the candidates he's endorsed, and his electoral viability for 2024. But obviously, midterms always do come with this caveat that the incumbent government's likely to take a beating.
That's right. And every midterm election since the Second World War, except in 1998 and 2002, saw the president's party lose seats. So if Joe Biden loses seats tomorrow in the House and also perhaps in the Senate, that's very much within the historical norm. On average, a president loses about 26 seats in the House of Representatives. Barack Obama lost over 60 seats in the House of Representatives in 2010 and then was re-elected 2 years later. The electorates are different, right? There's higher turnout in a presidential election. And also during a midterm election, the opposition party, so to speak, tends to be more motivated because they're probably a little bit more angry that they lost last time. And the incumbent party has this record to defend, and governing is difficult. So there are many explanations why this is the case, but if Joe Biden loses seats tomorrow, it would very much be within kind of normal historical patterns.
Richard Johnson, thank you so much for joining us.